Glancing over my records of the late last century, I am faced by the events of a certain bitter winter. A murder in a carriage as it sped through dense London fog in the dead of night. Though the victim and the perpetrator were the only ones inside, there were multiple witnesses to the crime itself. However, none could have imagined at the time that such a seemingly obvious case as this would end in such a horrendous manner. My friend, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, once said of the incident, "I believe that perhaps that case was indeed the prelude. The beginning of a long concerto that impressive Japanese student and I were to play together."
Amazing. Is this really just a railway station?
Railway station or not, I've never seen such an enormous building before.
And look at all the steam locomotives. This country is incredible.
I feel like I'm dreaming.
So this is the capital of Great Britain.
So, where to?
Oh, hello.
Climb aboard. I'll take you wherever you want to go.
In that case, the Supreme Court in Whitehall, if you wouldn't mind.
My pleasure. I suppose you're visiting students from abroad, eh?
Yes.
Thought so. Well then, I hope you enjoy your stay. And welcome to the centre of the world, Great Britain's mighty capital, London.
February 18th, 9:21 a.m. British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice Office. What an incredible place. It's so imposing. It's almost suffocating. This place is breathtaking. It looks like a fortress. There are some stone buildings like this in Japan now, of course, but they've only been built in the few short decades since we opened our borders to the outside world. An authentic example like this has quite a different impact, wouldn't you agree? A far cry from the wooden paper most of our buildings are constructed from. It's certainly unfamiliar. But I think there's more to the differences than just construction materials. What is this place again? This is the Lord Chief Justice's office, Naruhodo-san, in the Supreme Court of Great Britain. The Lord Chief Justice. We had instructions to report here at this time, if circumstances were different. We were supposed to let the Lord Chief Justice know that we had arrived from Japan. But Kazuma can't. No. So instead we are here in a different capacity. As envoys, to report the news of Kazuma-sama's death. Yes. And having delivered his or her message, an envoy's duty is done. So we'd have to return to Japan. If we want to remain here in Great Britain, I have to take Kazuma's place as the new law student selected for the study tour. Yes, which means you need the requisite qualifications as a lawyer. which is what I've been studying for. Here in Great Britain, it is the Lord Chief Justice who appoints lawyers. So that's the second reason why we're here, to have you officially recognized as a lawyer. It is the only way that we'll be able to remain here in London. I hope I'm up to scratch. Good morning. Sorry for keeping you. Oh. Oh god. I'm thinking vampire voice or like grizzled British voice. I'll go with vampire, why not? I don't think I've done a vampire voice yet. Oh. I trust you aren't too exhausted after your long voyage from Japan. It seems I am 1 hour, 12 minutes and 40 seconds late. My apologies. Oh, no, don't mention it. We're never happier than when we're standing around with nothing much to do. How fortunate. So, introductions. I am Male Strongheart, Lord Chief Justice of the British Empire. And I feel like a little mouse under an elephant's foot. Come on, Mr. Naruhodo. Do not be a mouse. Oh, it's an honor to meet you, Lord Chief Justice Strongheart. I am Renisuke Naruhodo from the Empire of Japan. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, welcome to London, the capital of our glorious British Empire. It's turning Russian a little bit. Blah, blah, blah. Ah, yes, thank you. Alright. I still got work to do on that accent, but... Oh! An armband. These are the scales of justice. They're a symbol of the defense, aren't they? Yes, that's right. The scales are a symbol of fairness, to show that all are treated equally in the eyes of the law. And they are a warning to those who enter the courtroom without an impartial mind. But if they're the mark of the defense, it would be more auspicious if they were weighing more heavily on the not guilty side, I think. Very impartial, I'm sure. Is that it? I mean, oh! The lawyer's name is embroidered on the inside here. Look. Kazuma Asogi. This was his band, of course. He had his heart set on the study tour in Great Britain. I'm sure he would have found the truth he longed for here. But he lost his life before he even had the chance to see the place. I have such a strong sense of this hopes and dreams when I look at this armband, though. I'm sure you do. Alright, let's not keep the great chief waiting. So, what are your impressions of our capital so far? How do you like London? Oh, help! I've been so nervous ever since I got here that I can't remember a single thing about the city. It is simply splendid, isn't it, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh? We had a wonderful view of some of London's streets from the carriage on the way here from the station. Everything is so impressive and grand. I must say I am lost for words. I'm glad to hear you like it. The city boasts tramways, piped water and gas, even cables supplying electricity. We spearhead every revolutionary new technology in the world, Every visitor to London is astounded. Oh yes, astounded is the word. Thanks for saving me there, Susato-san. And everyone seems so jolly and full of vigor. Blah blah, yes. There's much excitement about the upcoming great exhibition. I can't get. It always drifts to being Russian. You know what? I'm sorry, but I think I'll change the voice. Let me just think for a moment here. Do I do like a gruff? Is much excitement about the upcoming great exhibition we'll be hosting here in London. No, that's fine. Okay, I'll make it like an older sounding Edgeworth / Kazuma. Let me see. Yes. There's much excitement. Okay, and then make it older. There's much excitement about the upcoming great exhibition we will be hosting here in London. Is that better? I don't know. I can't do the vampire accent, but this is, at least I can do this. Great exhibition. Cultural and technological achievements from around the globe are to be exhibited here in our great city. It will be the greatest spectacle of its kind in history, and will make Paris's World Fair look like a toy shop. Gosh, I can hardly imagine how magnificent it's going to be. Great Britain's capital city is nothing but magnificent. London is the center of the modern world. Even if you do say so yourself. The sun will never set on our great empire. Perhaps it is fate that in these progressive times we welcome visitors from the land of the rising sun. Yeah. Lord Chief Justice, I think you were expecting a student of law for this study tour, weren't you? Absolutely. A Mr. Kazuma Asugi, if my memory serves. That's right. The British government has already been telegraphed a full report on the situation. I understand the young man lost his life aboard the steamship bound for our shores. That's amazing. The news reached him before we even arrived. The news reached him before we did. My country naturally extends its deepest condolences to yours. Oh, thank you. And you honored this appointment specifically to inform me of the news? Yes. We are here in the capacity of envoys from Japan to report the sad news in person. They tell me you Japanese are a people of protocol and courtesy, and I say that is true. And it is with some regret that I must inform you that the death of the young lawyer means this study tour arrangement can no longer proceed. If you would just hear us out, Lord Strongheart. What do you have to say, madam? It's about the study tour. Mr. Naruhodo here would like to make a proposal. Would he now? Well, Mr. Naruhodo. This is it then. The moment of truth. The thing is, Lord Justice, Lord Strongheart, I was wondering if perhaps you would consider allowing the study tour to go ahead? Don't misunderstand me.
Britain would ideally like to see the tour go ahead, but without a lawyer from your country, there is nothing to be done.
Well, in that case, what if there was someone else? Another lawyer from Japan, I mean.
Is there something I don't know? Only a single lawyer was invited to Great Britain from your country, and that was Mr. Asogi. At least, that is what I have been led to understand.
Well, the thing is, this really isn't going well at all. I just can't seem to find the right words to say to this man. Mr. Naruhodo, I could ruin things here if I'm not careful. What am I going to say? If there's someone else here from Japan who could be described as a lawyer, it's... actually no one. It's only been 40 days since Kazuma died. And yes, I've studied as hard as I possibly could. But can I really stand before this terrifying man and claim that I can do the job? Sorry, I don't know what I was thinking. Of course, only one lawyer... But I'm not sure if I can stand before this terrifying woman and claim that I can't. I'll end up upside down on the floor if I do that. Or even worse. Not that I'm scared of a Susato takedown, obviously, but still, perhaps I should change my answer. It's me. I can do it.
Is that so?
Yes? I mean, I don't actually have any qualifications as such, but...
No qualifications, you say? And yet you still claim to be a lawyer, huh?
I have acted as a lawyer in court before. Only once as it happens. And I had Kazuma to help me, and I was the accused, but glossing over the details. I've been spending every spare moment on the journey here to Great Britain studying. I've learned all about British law and court proceedings while I was on board the SS Buria.
The voyage from Japan is some 50 days, I believe. Not what you might call a full education. To become a qualified lawyer here in Britain, not only do you need a university degree in law, you must also complete several years of training.
I realize it's far too short a period of time, but I can't just go back to Japan. Kazuma, Mr. Asogi's journey had only just begun. Coming here on the study tour was all he thought about. I have to carry on and do everything he planned to do. I know it must sound like I have an overly inflated opinion of myself, but I would do anything to prove that I have what it takes. Any test you care to set me. Just one chance. That's all I'm asking for. Please.
31 seconds.
Sorry?
Your opening statement there, Miss Naruhodo. It was only 31 seconds long. Not too brief, not too protracted. A perfectly judged appeal, I would say. Which is a skill that would stand you in a good stead as a lawyer.
Oh, thanks.
So, you're willing to put those words to trial, are you? Well, I'm all for entertainment.
Huh?
But let me ask you one thing first, sir.
Yes?
You say you intend to do everything Mr. Asogi planned to do. Are you firmly set on that path?
Well, yes, that is my intention.
I see.
Am I imagining things? Or did his expression just alter a fraction there all of a sudden?
Very well. You have your wish. I'll give you a chance. A test to become a specially certified lawyer. Whether you pass or fail is entirely down to you.
Really? Alright. So, what form will the test take exactly?
Tell me, Mr. Naruhodo, what do you consider the role of a lawyer to be?
Well, defending people, of course.
Well said. So, let's have you defend someone.
Eh?
Your timing is perfect, in fact. There is an apt trial about to begin later today. No advocate has been appointed for the defense as yet, so this will be welcome news.
Today? Straight away.
If you manage to secure a verdict of not guilty, you'll have passed my test. What could be simpler?
How do I get myself into these situations? Well, could I ask, what sort of trial is it, Strongheart?
Yes, good question. I remember. It's a murder trial.
A murder?
An extremely simple case, I understand. You really can't lose.
That's easy for you to say.
But I should mention, just in case, if the defendant is found guilty, he will of course be sentenced to capital punishment.
Capital punishment? He'll be put to death?
Here in Great Britain, murderers are sent to the gallows without exception. Presumably you read that much in your short sea-based introduction to British law?
We cannot possibly agree to such a test. We would be toying with a man's life.
I am the Lord Chief Justice, and I've decided it's acceptable.
But you can't do that. Can you?
There is no need to overcomplicate this. All you have to do is ensure that you don't lose.
So the defendant may live or die depending on how well I perform in court? If I lose, he'll be hanged?
Mr. Naruhodo, you've come to me claiming to be a lawyer. If you want me to take you seriously, you need to prove you're willing to do a lawyer's job. And you say you intend to see through the will of your compatriot, Mr. Asogi? I would like to understand just how far you're willing to go in order to make that happen.
He's testing my resolve?
What's the matter? You've fallen silent. I am sorry, but time is pressing. The trial begins shortly. I need an answer from you now. What's it to be?
What do I say? Do I agree to this absurd test? Absolutely not. Alright then, if I have to give you a decision now, my answer is... I can't do it. I can't get the words out.
15 seconds. Your decision-making needs work if you want to be a lawyer. That was too slow. So, it's as I suspected, is it?
Sorry?
You have noble intentions, but lack the resolve to see them through. The test is cancelled. Thank you for stopping by. Go and acquire your ticket for passage back to the east tomorrow. This conversation is over.
Oh. Yes, Lord Strongheart. Thank you for offering me a chance. Mr. Naruhodo. I'm sorry, Miss Susato, but what could I do? It's alright. I understand. You do? It's not an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances. But resolve has absolutely nothing to do with it.
What are you trying to say, madam?
I have no idea. I think what Miss Susato means is that no matter how badly I'd like to be recognized as a lawyer and stay here in Great Britain, to risk another man's life by trading his one and only chance at a trial so trivially would be utterly unforgivable. And I feel exactly the same way. I'm sure the defendant won't see this trial as a test, as some kind of experiment. A lawyer may fight for his clients in court day after day, but for each one of those clients, the particular day they stand in the dock may be the only chance they have to fight to prove their innocence. No, I was wrong. I am not qualified to do that job yet. I'm sorry for wasting your precious time, Lord Chief Justice.
Wait, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh, was there something else?
It's approximately 20 minutes by carriage to the Old Bailey from here. If you leave immediately, you should still be there in time.
But I just said that...
I was quite serious in what I told you. The defendant in this case has literally no one to advocate for him.
What?
At this point, he can't hope to find someone to represent him. The trial will begin without a defense. And if that happens, there is only one possible outcome. He will receive the most severe sentence the judge can pass down.
But that's awful.
But that is the truth.
Why does it have to be like this?
Please, don't expect an answer to every question. The cold, hard truth of the matter is that there is only one person now with a chance to save this man from a very miserable end. And that is you.
I'm really his only hope?
So, what do you say now, madam?
Me? What do you mean, Lord Strongheart?
You said it wasn't an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances, and I agree. But in my estimation, it is purely and simply a matter of resolve.
Oh.
Our time is up here. I have a meeting to attend. I must leave in 2 minutes and 16 seconds. So, venture into our great city and enjoy yourselves.
He's gone. The Old Bailey. If we're going to do this, Mr. Naruhodo, we must leave at once. Right, so I'm just gonna stick around here and look at some of the stuff here, if you don't mind. Miss Susato, can I just ask you something? Careful, from this position, I can perform a Susato takedown in an instant. I know. Mr. Naruhodo, you heard Lord Strongheart. The trial starts imminently. If I need to throw you, I will. You know, you could just say, I think we should hurry to the courtroom. If you need to ask me anything, it had better wait until we are We are at the Old Bailey. Alright, I get the picture. I get what you're trying to say. Let's go to the Old Bailey. London's highest criminal court with an illustrious past. The Old Bailey. This is where I'm to take my tests and prove my worthiness as a lawyer. Let's do it. Oh, thank goodness, we are in time. There is still 15 minutes until the trial begins. I never knew a horse-drawn carriage could go so fast. I thought my teeth were going to rattle loose. Did you hear what I said to the driver when we climbed aboard? Get us to our destination in 5 minutes, driver, and there is a guinea in it for you. It is one of my favorite lines from the Sherlock Holmes stories, and it worked quite perfectly. I'm not sure why you're so pleased. I thought we were going to die, and we had to pay gold for the privilege. Well, at least we arrived here before the trial started. Yeah, I suppose there's that. Anyway, I don't understand it. The court clerk said the defendant should be here, but there is no sign of him at all. So this is the Old Bailey. Even this room for defendants to wait in is grand. Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? I'm feeling tense, that's all. This place gives me the same sense of foreboding that I remember from the Supreme Court in Japan. An oppressive air, almost as if the building itself is going to crush whoever is about to be sentenced. It feels like only yesterday that I was the one about to be crushed. Yes, whoever the man you're defending is, I imagine he's feeling very alone at this moment. Total more here, madam. Sir. The fuck? What are you doing for me here? Things are very desperate, aren't they? Sorry? What you look at those expressionless faces? From the east, is. We're from Japan, yes. Ah, Japan, is it? Right, say no more. So, how much do you need? No, we're just here because... No need to explain, fella. I've been here myself, so I have. No place to go, not to eat, barely a penny to your name, and all while in a strange, faraway land. Well, actually, we haven't found a place to stay yet, no. 'Tis grand, 'tis grand. Let me start by giving you 1,000 guineas. Say nothing, eh? 1,000 guineas? Please, Mrs. Sato, you don't have to shout. But 1,000 guineas is enough to build an entire mansion in the most prestigious area of Tokyo. What? 'Tis not me at all. I like to ensure I have sufficient funds to weather a rainy day, you see. I have enough wealth to buy the city of London 2 or 3 times over. Could that much rain even fall in one day? Well, even so, we couldn't possibly accept such a large sum of money. Oh, that hit me in the eye. Don't get me wrong, fella. I'm not giving it. Yeah, no strings attached. I'll be wanting you to do something for me. Oh? To be honest, it's a little embarrassing. Trial is about to begin, you see. It's for me good self here. I'll be in the dock. So now, what I want you to do is come along with me and stand there beside me. Officially, you'd be my lawyer, but that's just a little detail now. Oh, well, the thing is, don't worry about a thing. All you do is stand up there next to me, nothing more. Otherwise, you see, the trial is going to start without me having any kind of representation at all. So it was true. The Lord Chief Justice wasn't making it all up. I'm terribly sorry to have to ask, but does that mean you are the defendant in this trial? Blast and blazes, do you not know who I am? Me, one of London's biggest names? No, sorry, we've only just arrived in the city, you see. Cool, I see. Suppose it isn't altogether impossible. Well, just next to Hyde Park and in the center of London is another beautiful park. Sorry? A park? What? It's called McGilded Park, full of blossoming flowers in the spring and singing birds and whatnot. Down in the city I did. An entire park in central London? City smiles, that's my vision for London. There's nothing Magnus McGilded won't do for his city and its square old people. That's amazing. I mean, really extraordinary. But now they've got to go on to say I'm a good-for-nothing criminal. Me, Magnus McGilded. What is the matter with London police, I ask you? Alright, don't pass out. Mr. Naruhodo, perhaps now would be a good time to introduce ourselves while the gentleman catches his breath. Good idea. Mr. McGilda, the thing is, we're actually here in London to study British law. We're law students on a study tour from Japan, you see. So, if you don't have a lawyer for the trial yet, and you'd be happy to put yourself in our hands, what was I after saying, you daft idiot? I'll give you 1,000 guineas to stand up there next to me, haven't I? Well, yeah, but I wasn't really offering to just stand up there next to you. Oh, I think I see what's going on here. Sorry? Oh, now what you're thinking? This chainsaw of a fella claims to have more money than the Queen. But if that's true, why the blazes can he hire the finest lawyer in all of England? Because he did it. That's the only explanation. Well, yeah, basically. Yes, exactly. What now? Well, like you said, if you have all that money but you don't have anyone to represent you in court, there's no other logical conclusion than that you're guilty of the charges. Well, you call a spade in the East, so you do. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean any offense. I still can't express myself very well in English, you see. And I'm never sure what's acceptable to say and what isn't, so... Is that so? Because you sounded fluent enough when you were telling me what a blackguard I must be. I'm terribly sorry. What? Can't say that I blame me for thinking it, fella. It is a little strange, to be honest. Why you don't have a lawyer, I mean? That would be the fault of the Reaper. Sorry? Did he just say Reaper? Aye, a grim Reaper of the Bailey, Lord Beric van Zix. He is the prosecutor. The prosecutor is the Grim Reaper? When Van Zix stands for prosecution, they call the accused his sacrificial lambs. And to this day, in every single trial in which he's been the prosecutor, the accused has been damned. What? So it's reached a desperate situation. It's turning Russian again. So it's reached a desperate situation, it did. Where there's no one willing to stand in defense against the fella at all. You could say he's a living legend of the Old Bailey. Goodness. Lord Barock van Zieks. He must be an exceptionally talented prosecutor then. Talented isn't the word you're looking for, madam. It's cursed. Cursed? What on earth?
Our defender is summoned on his counsel. Please make your way into the courtroom. The trial is about to begin.
His counsel? That would be me. Oh, this time. Well then, fella, don't let me down. But I don't know anything about the case. You haven't told me what happened. Until you showed your face here. I'd made up my mind, so I hid. Sorry? I decided I'd have to defend myself in there. How would that have worked? But then you made an appearance. A student of law, wouldn't you know? 'Tis no accident. I can assure you that. 'Tis fate. So don't get cold feet now. Please. I literally know nothing about the case or about this man who stands accused. In fact, the only thing I do know is that I can't just turn my back on him. Mr. Naruhodo. The man has no one. He'll have to stand alone in that courtroom, armed with nothing to defend himself. Yes, something that Kazuma would have never allowed to happen.
Counsel for defense, what are you doing? If you're late for the start of the trial, you will lose your right to stand.
I'll be right there. It's happening then. My first trial in a British court. I hope you're watching over me, Kazuma. Because I have no idea how I'm gonna manage this. Oh? Alright. No, to be continued. We're just gonna jump right into it. Okay. Old Bailey courtroom. Here we go. So this is the highest court in Great Britain. The Old Bailey. The centuries of history in this place is palpable, isn't it? It's so different to the Supreme Court in Japan. It feels both imposing and serene at the same time. The atmosphere almost makes words redundant. Whatever the country, determining a person's guilt or innocence is always a solemn affair. May I say something, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, yes. What is it? Your eyes look ready to pop out of your head again. I know, but I just can't help it.
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. We are here today to determine the guilt or innocence of Mr. Magnus McGilded. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed.
Alright, here we go. Should I make it gravelly or just the prosecution is fully prepared? Or should I make it like should I make him the Von Karma of this game? Like,
The prosecution is fully prepared.
That sounds better, but that almost destroyed my throat. So all right, we'll do normal German accent, kind of. All right, how do I do it now? Okay, he's almost half asleep, so it's like,
The prosecution.
no, but that's Spanish. No, okay, German. God, I'm sorry. Okay, fuck. How would he sound then? German, but like, I don't know. Oh, okay. The no, that's Russian. The prosecution is fully, but he's quiet. Okay.
The prosecution is fully prepared.
That must be the Reaper of the Bailey. He really does look fully prepared to dispatch his next poor victim to the underworld.
Counsel for the defense, you appear to be, Eastern. Do you speak English?
Huh? Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. But he asked if the defense was ready. And I couldn't be further from ready if I tried.
Those eyes please me, Nipponese. They shroud your fear, your doubt, your trepidation. They're unveiled, clinging to some phantom notion of courage. The quintessential look of a sacrificial lamb.
Oh, a cold shiver just ran down my spine all the way to the tips of my toes.
Now, Mr. McGilded.
Yes, my lord.
You stand accused of murder, a capital offense. You could be sent to the gallows if found guilty. Are you quite sure you'll wish to entrust your defense to this foreigner?
As I've always said, my lord, 'tis a grand thing to give opportunities to the young, even if the fellows are stewing from some little island off in the Far East. Is it not the British way to ignore the dangers to yourself and give those less fortunate a fair chance? I like to think that acts of chivalry do the great British Empire proud.
Listen to Mr. McGilded. What a fine gentleman London has in him. Did you hear that he donated £5,000 to the government?
Mother, please may we go watch McGilded Park? It seems as though everyone in the public gallery is firmly behind Mr. McGilded. That's definitely welcome news, and he certainly has a way with words. I'm surprised he couldn't convince anyone to defend him.
Eloquently put, Mr. McGilded, and most laudable sentiments. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I am sure I need hardly remind you that you 6 members of the public have been selected for your impartiality. Are you ready to proceed?
Yes, my lord. If the case is sent rotters to the gallows where they belong, I'm more than ready.
At the manor, his lordship always says we should... At the manor, his lordship always says we should dispose of rubbish promptly. Naturally, I agree. Ha! Any criminals here will soon be wishing they never set eyes on me.
Hey, I feel a chill.
Oh, don't mind me, my dears. I'll just be getting on with my knitting. Must finish these mitts for my grandson. Ah, Mr. Naruhodo, those people are the jury. Yes, that's something we don't have in Japan yet. That's right. I've only read about it. But here in Great Britain, the court's final verdict depends on the opinions of these 6 jurors. The judge passes sentence according to the law, but the jurors determine guilt based on common sense. So the defendant is ultimately judged from 2 completely different points of view. But how exactly do the jurors give their verdict? That I don't know, but I am sure it will become clear as the trial progresses. Yes.
Prosecutor Van Zieks? My lord? It's been a number of years since we have seen you here in the courtroom. I thought you'd renounced your fame. I am known as the Reaper of the Bailey, my lord. Infamy rather than fame, I would say. But yes, 5 years have passed since I last spread my wings in this capacity. So, what brings you back? Is there some changes of circumstance of which the court should be aware?
I leave that to your imagination, my lord. So the Reaper has been out of action for 5 years. Why did he have to choose the day of all days to make a comeback? Do not lose your heart, Mr. Naruhodo.
As you wish, sir. The court nevertheless welcomes your return. Now then, opening statements, I think. A summary of the case, if you please.
Certainly, my lord. As your lordship is aware, this is a case of overwhelming simplicity. We must be the only ones in here who aren't aware. The incident took place in the late evening. 3 days passed. The hour was some minutes after 10. The victim was a maker of building bricks, known in the community as thrice-fired mason. Sorry? Thrice?
He was a very accomplished craftsman. The bricks he fired were said to be almost indestructible.
The victim's corpse was discovered in an omnibus in service on the streets of London at the time. A dagger that had been thrust into the victim's abdomen is believed to be the ultimate cause of death. Here is the autopsy report from the investigating medical officer at Scotland Yard.
Thank you, counsel. I shall accept that and the photograph as evidence.
Alright. Stab wound to the abdomen. The knife is clearly visible, but the face is partly obscured from the view by an old crooked hat. And one further item of evidence. The prosecution wishes to submit this as well.
And these are... Good lord! Is that blood, counsel?
Yes, my lord. Seized by a policeman who arrived at the scene. These gore-soaked gloves were taken from the hands of the accused when he was arrested. What? Mr. McGilda's gloves had blood on them? Oh no.
Yes. I will accept these as evidence as well.
Alright. How did I get into this? I'm backed in a corner before I've even started.
Continuing. According to the driver of the omnibus, there were only 2 passengers traveling inside his vehicle at the time.
Only 2?
Obviously, one of those passengers was the deceased brick maker, Mr. Mason. The other was the accused Magnus McGilded.
Well, rather damning circumstances, to say the least. Defendant, what say you?
Well, of course, I have no recollection of such a thing.
Mr. McGilded.
To be sure, I rode the omnibus that evening. To be sure, I rode the omnibus that evening. But whenever I'm in a carriage, I'm taken with a fierce tiredness, and I always succumb to it.
Are you claiming to have been asleep?
'Tis the motion of the carriage, my lord. Lilting, so it is. When I opened my eyes again, 'twas a desperate sight before me. The body of a man I'd never laid eyes on before in my life. Now I ask is, what good-hearted soul wouldn't rush to help a fella bleeding from his stomach? I wasn't about to start worrying about me gloves now, was I? I reached out to give the man a hand.
So the blood got into the gloves then, after the man had been killed.
Unfortunately, that statement of the drivers is only the beginning.
What? That's not all of it?
There were multiple witnesses to the precise moment at which the brick maker was fatally stabbed.
Ooh.
Order! 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 When the killing took place, only the victim and the accused were inside the carriage, and there was witnesses to the crime. This is not just a case of compelling evidence. It's the nail in the coffin for the accused.
Thank you, counsel. The circumstances of the crime have been made quite clear. I think we will hear testimony from these witnesses first of all.
Your wish is my command. Bailiff, bring the witnesses in at once.
Oh? Oh, we got a threesome here.
Witnesses, your names and occupations.
My name is, well, everyone calls me Beppo. I drive an omnibus to the East End. In the East End.
Bruce Fairplay. I am a banker of the city.
My name is First. Lady First. Mike Etz for gents.
Let's begin by confirming the facts. 3 days ago, at a short time after 10 o'clock in the evening, all of you present in the stand were in an omnibus and witness to the aforementioned incident. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Quite right.
Yes, sir. That's right, sir. Very well, then. Let's proceed to your formal testimonies, please. Each of you will tell the court precisely what you saw. I hope so. Alright. Triple testimony. What the witnesses saw.
It was the last...
I keep doing... I'll make it Texan, why not? But I already did the old man voice thing. It's hard to keep them different.
It was the last...
No, I already did that voice.
It was the last...
It was... Oh, fuck.
It was the last buzz of the evening, so I had to feed customers.
I remember well.
The victim and the man accused of killing him were sat next to each other inside the buzz. Then out of the blue, the accused just reached over and plunged the knife right into his guts.
That's right. He stabbed him. I screamed, I did. Couldn't help it.
As soon as I heard the scream, I stopped my buzz, and then I saw it too.
Unambiguous testimony, I must say.
Exactly, my lord. These men witnessed the incident in the omnibus with their own eyes.
I'd like to ask a question, if I may.
Yes, counsel.
Well, this testimony... It makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever.
Why not?
Well, the incident took place inside a moving carriage, didn't it?
As has been clearly stated from the outset, yes.
Well, in that case... How could those two witnesses possibly have seen what happened? There's no way they could have seen the inside of the moving carriage. But...
How quaint. I dread that civilization, the Eastern Island nations, was a good century behind our own. But you're here in London yourself. Are you really so ignorant about our omnibuses? Huh? Tell me, my Naponese friend, have you even traveled in an omnibus?
Well, no. We, only arrived in London this morning.
No matter. I've arranged for us all to see for ourselves the actual scene of the crime, that is.
What do you mean? The actual scene? How?
A carriage is designed to be moved, after all. Presumably you understand that much?
Yes.
The omnibus in which this bloody crime took place is here today, in this very building.
Here? What? The entire carriage?
Bailiff! Bring forth the stricken omnibus!
Oh. That's an omnibus. The omnibus? I can't believe they could bring something so enormous in here. Great Britain's courtrooms are amazing.
As you can see, the omnibus is pulled by 2 horses and can carry up to 8 passengers. 4 passengers seated inside in the enclosed cabin and another 4 on the rooftop deck above. Every Londoner knows that the best views of the city's architecture and sights are to be had from the top of an omnibus. And I should point out to our foreign guests that there's the skylights on the roof, allowing a view of the interior from the seats above.
Ah, a skylight. Oh!
The penny drops at last, I see. These two gentlemen were occupying the rooftop seats on this omnibus when the murder took place. That is how they came to witness the grim incident. Through the skylight.
Oh, that makes perfect sense.
Well, Counsel, this is a first. In all my years behind the bench, I've never experienced the crime scene itself being brought into the courtroom.
There are a number of important clues remaining inside the carriage, my lord. I would like to submit the omnibus itself as evidence. That is the prosecution's wish.
Very well. I see no reason why not. This omnibus is hereby formally accepted as evidence.
Sure, why not? I can't believe it. The entire crime scene entered as evidence? Yes, Great Britain is simply extraordinary. I could help myself a lot by giving that omnibus a thorough examination, seeing as it is here.
Let us continue with proceedings then. Your cross-examination, Counsel.
Pray don't expect this no-penny stray to understand the intricacies of a British court's cross-examination rights.
Alright, my first cross-examination in a British court. Focus, Renisuke. Focus.